All right, we're here with head coach Tony Krueger. Tony, Cougar men finished third at the conference meet. Cougar women finished second. Before that, take us through the regular season for both teams.
Well, it was a little different season for us. Getting off, right off the bat, we were supposed to run up to Superior for a preview of their course for our very first meet, which I'm sure our fans and followers know by now how that ended with a nice little picnic trip to St. Cloud and a quick turnaround. And then back redirected to a twilight meet up in Moorhead, which was a short course for the men and women. So I guess that sort of set the tone for the season, which was kind of expect the unexpected. Both teams were looking very, very strong heading into the season. We knew we were going to have some great fresh talent, but as well as talented returners and a very committed team. I knew that and was confident in that heading in. How that all plays out over the course of 11 or 12 weeks is anybody's guess, but I figured come conference time we were going to be in a pretty competitive spot, and I hoped it was going to be a close battle with the top teams in our conference, and it certainly worked out that way. I mean, we were 2 points out of first for the women and 3 points out of third for the men, so that's about as close as it gets, but we definitely had a lot of positives out of that conference meet and the season as a whole.
And start with the Cougar men. Take us through that race.
I was kind of a nail biter. I think being that we'd never really seen the course before, I didn't know what to expect in terms of how it was going to run speed-wise. Certainly my impression when we were up there for a preview on Friday was that it was flat. It was a lot like our home course with the terrain and the setting, but it was kind of soft. And so I thought, if the course measurement was spot on, it was probably going to run a little bit slow, and I think the race on Saturday bore that out. We saw slower than usual times for a conference championship, but competitively speaking, we had 9 runners in the top 30 at the conference meet, which is huge for us. And I think that speaks to the depth on the men's team, how close our 9th and 1st runners were. So I think that just speaks to the overall level of both talent, but also commitment on the men's team right now.
And on the women's side, McKenna won the race, and then the Cougar women finished second. Take us through that.
Yeah, well, I mean, I give all the credit to McKenna for that one. I had a lot of coaches coming up to congratulate me on her winning the individual title, and I said I had very little to do with that. She's just a very heads-up, very intuitive runner. Certainly has trained well all year and stayed healthy, and that's a huge part of that championship win. But she raced really smart. I mean, she put herself in a good competitive and advantageous position throughout the race, and then kind of waited until she knew she had it in the bag, and she made a move for the finish line, and nobody came with her. And the rest of the women's team, obviously Kaitlyn was 4th, and Paige and Alexa were both top 10 finishes. So we had 4 first-team all-conference accolades. That's a huge day for us. And I was very, very impressed with how we acquitted ourselves on the women's side, and it was a really exciting race to watch.
And what's the mindset of each program heading into the regional meet?
I think we're focused, and I think we want some fast times. Certainly, they ran a preview at this course about a month and a half ago, and it was pretty soggy and muddy, so I really hope things have dried out since then. It's historically kind of a fast course, just the way it's laid out in the terrain, with good start lanes and a really long run into the finish on flat ground. So it has a history of being fast, and I hope that bears it out this year, because we've certainly got the ability to run some fast times, and I think we got folks that are ready to do it.
All right, we're here with junior Kaitlyn Ladwig. Kaitlyn, Cougars finished second to the conference meet this past weekend, but before that, let's take a look back at your season and the teams.
This season we didn't have a lot of full length races. We had 2 that were 6Ks, and the others were like 5Ks and 4Ks. So everyone was kind of excited to see what they would run at conference this last weekend.
And then take us through that conference meet. It was a close race. Cougars finished second. How did you do personally and the team?
Yeah, I did pretty well. I got 4th overall, and our top 4 runners were all in the top 10. So it was really exciting to see.
And then what's kind of the focus of the team right now heading into the regional meet?
I think everyone's excited for regionals. Like, some of us had PRs, but others didn't. So I think the ones that didn't have PRs, I think they're excited to see what they can do at regionals.
All right, we're here with senior Benjamin Barnack. Ben, take us through the UMAC meet, but before that, let's kind of take a look at your season before it.
Alright, so our season went pretty good. Kind of an unusual season this year. A lot of these races that we went to, a lot of variables we're not used to dealing with. Beginning of the year, we were supposed to run the conference course. That meet got canceled. We did a last minute night run, and that was just a 6K for the guys. So that was interesting. St. Olaf was normal. A lot of teams battling a cold. I think Eau Claire was probably our only normal meet, only consistency this season. A lot of PRs, a lot of good racing there. And then UND, muddy course, not really great for the weather. So conference was kind of, at least for me, and I think a lot of the guys would agree, our most normal meet this season, or our second most normal.
And then take us through that conference meet for yourself personally and for the guys.
Personally, not my greatest conference meet. There's a lot of variables going to the race, and I just didn't have the best. But again, this is just a team sport, so it was really nice. Ryan, Ray, and Joel, our all conference, they ran a great race. Really smart and strategic. So they ran good races, and a lot of other guys who didn't get all conference, not have ran the races they did, but we talked about before, but a lot of us ran the best race we could, and really proud of the guys and what we did.
And then looking forward to yourself and the team heading into the regional meet here on the 16th, I believe.
The regional is always interesting. It's always, I feel, either I don't care conference is done, or let's move on. And I think for a lot of us, it's, we have 2 weeks left and we've done a lot of training. Let's see if we can add a little more excitement to the conference, and maybe, I know, for me, redeem ourselves and get the PR we want and just finish the season on a good note.